Hey everybody, my name's Ryan Butler from Butler Computer, and this is another video tutorial. Today we're going to be doing a screen replacement, and this is an HP Pavilion RTL8188EE. Now I've already laid out the tools in front of me that I'm going to need. I've got the laptop, I've got the replacement screen, I've got a place to hold the screws, I've got a Phillips head screwdriver, and I have got a box cutter. Now, if you don't have a box cutter, you can use an X-Acto knife. You can also use a pocket knife in a pinch or a straight razor blade. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. First thing you want to do is go ahead and remove the battery. If you flip it over and push on those tabs, it'll release the battery, and we'll just set it aside for now. Next thing you want to do is go ahead and open up the laptop, and right down here at the bottom there's two places that you'll need to remove the little plastic covers. Those are where the screws are that hold it in. So you're just going to take your X-Acto knife or box cutter, pocket knife in a pinch, and we're just going to set those guys aside here. With your screwdriver, you're just going to remove the screws. Now what we're going to do is we're going to remove this outer bezel. And the way you're going to do it is you just put your fingernails in between the screen and the bezel, being very careful not to scratch or damage the screen, although it is the old screen, so not a huge deal if you do it at this portion. And you're just going to pry it up. If for some reason you have trouble getting in there, you can use a flathead screwdriver also, but on these HPs it's pretty easy to just get in there with your fingers, and I found no additional tools are usually necessary. Now once you get down to this bottom part, you can still work your way around, and that should free up these two, but sometimes you kind of gotta wiggle it a little bit to get that out. So we'll set that aside as well. And now there's 4 screws that you are going to need to remove. And basically they are right here, right here, right here, and right here. So we'll start to remove these screws. And once you get the final screw, then you can bring this part down, the old screen down, and this is how you find out which screen to order. There is a serial number on the back, and that helps you identify the correct screen. Now you're just going to detach this little connection right here. Now there is some tape in there, so again, you can take your straight razor or X-Acto knife, pocket knife, whatever you've got handy, and just work it along that taped edge. Then you're just going to pull that connection straight out. We'll remove the old screen and set it aside. Okay, now we've got our new screen. We are going to go ahead and connect it back up. And you'll see it's got the same connection type right there. You just got to make sure all the pins are lined up, and it should snap into place quite easily. We'll put that little piece of tape back down to hold it in place. And then we, once again, line it up so the screw holes line up with the holes in the holder. It's got some protective film, and you want to be careful not to screw in the screw over that. But I always like to wait until the last step to remove the protective film. Just that way it protects all of the parts and pieces while you're doing the job. You can remove the protective film before this step. All right, now we'll go ahead and remove the protective film. And it's actually okay that there's a little tape on there because the bezel is going to cover that. And we'll set that aside. And now, time to put the bezel back on. And once again, like before, you just kind of get it in place. And then I like to start from the top and you just snap it back in. You should hear it click. Alright, so you want to work around all the edges, make sure it's totally secure. And now it's time to replace the two screws we took out in the beginning. Next, we want to grab our screw cover and we'll just place them in here. And finally, we replace the battery. We'll go ahead and start it up to check, make sure everything's working properly. And there you go. That has been how to replace a screen on an HP Pavilion RTL8188EE. If you have any other questions or you need computer repair or tech support, feel free to visit us at butlercomputer.com.